could you please talk about the first wave of ascension? How many people do you estimate will leave the planet, and how about those who are not ascending? How will they perceive this influx of light?
Greetings, I'm Juliano. We are the Arcturians. It is good to be with you again. I enjoy your inquisitiveness, and it is necessary to explore some of these important questions. The ascension is not for everyone. The ascension is for those people who are ready to leave the Earth incarnational cycle. The ascension is for people who are on the edge of completing their Earth lessons. I talk about the ascension as if you are going to graduate from the Earth. This means that there are lessons to learn. I realize that given the length of time left on the planet, that there might not be enough time for everyone to complete their lessons. That is why the Ascended Masters have talked about a period of grace. I compared this grace to the idea of skipping a grade in high school. So, for example, say you're in the 10th grade and then you skipped the 11th and went right to the 12th, and then you could graduate from school, at least in the United States. But there is another important characteristic for ascension. And Sananda discussed this in a lecture many years ago, and that is the idea of do not look back. What does that mean? At the moment of ascension, you are going forward. You are not going backwards. And the ascension is a moment, a brief moment, when an influx, a download of spiritual light intermixes with your spiritual acceleration, your spiritual transmutation, allowing you to accelerate your energy field to a point where you will reach a vibrational energetic speed that allows your physical body to disappear from the third dimension, or at least from people who can see the third dimension, and also possibly see you as a fifth dimensional being. This acceleration of light then and spiritual frequency moves you forward, and you then can direct yourself. We recommend that you direct yourself to the Arcturian Stargate or to a ladder of ascension that we have downloaded. But if you look back, in other words, oh, what about my pets, or what about my wife, or what about this person I'm taking care of, or what about my job, then that stops the process. And it's very difficult to get the momentum to go forward. You asked the question about how many people. I'm going to give you a broad estimate of between 30,000 and 300,000. Now, that may seem like a large span, a large number of people, but it is difficult to predict how many of the first wave, and I would say, let us use the figure of 330,000 or 300,000. It'd be difficult to predict how many of those people would be ready to do what I just described, to go forward, to not look back, and to immediately accelerate their energy into the other realms. So I'm not surprised when I hear that people say they're not ready for this. Unfortunately, one of the issues that is going to occur is that there is going to be a acceleration of polarizing events and what you might consider catastrophic events on the planet, and the world's attention will be focused on these events. And that is when the first wave is going to occur. That means that even though you and I would think that there would be a disruption in the Ascension or in the planet when all of a sudden 30,000 or 300,000 people disappeared, I am suggesting that because of the Earth situation and some would call an Earth emergency, the world or the people's attention would not be so overwhelmed. I mean, if 30,000 people disappeared right now in the United States, that would be all over the front page. But if there were major earthquakes, or there was a volcanic eruption, or there was some kind of event that caused a disaster, then those 30,000 people might not, who are ascended or are taken up, might not be noticed. And that is what's going to happen. Now, I have to be careful because I don't want people to start thinking or wishing for a catastrophic event so that the ascension can occur. It's not that way. I'm just saying that in the first event, in the first wave. So this means that it's not going to be as overwhelming, or it's not going to disrupt the normal day-to-day operation, because the normal day-to-day operation of the planet, or at least in some parts of the planet, are already going to be disrupted. When I present the figure of 300,000, that may sound like a lot, but then we consider the entire planet, then it isn't that many. And I realized that even in earlier lectures, we were predicting perhaps a higher number. But you can see that the polarizations and the disruptions that are going on the planet now do deplete and do affect the spiritual light, even of the light workers, even of the starseeds. And I am concerned because I know that there are many of you, dear friends, who may feel overwhelmed now about the disruptive behavior and about the sixth mass extinction and about the planetary polarizations and the planetary wars. And I'm concerned that this does deplete your spiritual focus at a time when you need to increase the spiritual focus, at a time when you need more support. And I'm willing to provide as much support as I can and to try to point you in the direction. So I hope that answers the question. The big thing is, don't look back, prepare to be detached, and the vibrational, and go with the vibrational flow, and practice shimmering. Shimmering is the best ascension practice because you are accelerating your aura. And this is what the ascension energy, the download of the intersection of the dimensions is going to do, is going to be a wave. Think of a wave of spiritual electromagnetic energies that comes to your aura, and this wave sets off a spiritual chain reaction that accelerates your aura speed. Because you've been practicing shimmering, you give permission for the aura speed to accelerate. In fact, it will feel comfortable. But if you look back, then the shimmering stops, the acceleration stops. And this type of acceleration of the energy field is so fast that I cannot even practice with you that speed. And the speed that we are practicing is still slow compared to what the speed of the ascension light is going to activate within you.